What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Twister, and this is the place where we talking about the TV shows and movies. If you're watching something and no one is watching around you, you came to the right place because this is almost like a book club, but with the TV shows and movies. So you can grab your tea, coffee, or whatever you're drinking. Maybe something stronger. I'm not gonna judge because it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. So, and let's go through the second episode of Silo. You can do whatever you're doing over there, cleaning, cooking, maybe you go for the little run. I will be here, will be your host, your entertainer, hopefully. And if I'm not your cup of the tea, I'm sorry, but I'll try my best. And hopefully my accent not distracting you so much. So, this episode called Order, the second episode, and actually I like the first one more, but again I can be a little bit biased because I do like Rebecca Ferguson, and missing her in this episode, that was kind of tough. Again, see, it's not like I have huge crush on her, no, but her storyline, the person who left the silo, person who is trying to survive in this new environment, completely hostile environment, it's more interesting story for me than whatever is going on inside of the silo 18. But this is also really interesting. But I give this episode 9 out of 10. It's a little bit sad to see that first episode rating on Internet Movie Database only like 7.5. We'll see. Maybe it's going to be climbing up. I went and I read some comments in the Internet Movie Database, and people was like, "Oh, first episode was so boring. I'm falling asleep." I know. Maybe this is time when we're living and we need a lot of entertainment stuff that will be happening really fast, like TikToks, YouTube shorts, Instagram stories. We need everything happening, a lot of flashing, a lot of changing shots. So episode number 2, I think, gave more than enough of action, adventures, more characters, but I don't know if that's exactly the things what I'm looking at in the TV shows. If the story is good, I don't care if it's going to be a solo actor. I don't care about that. If the story is good, I can go watch like mono theater when just one actor playing the whole play. If it's good, if the story is good, I cut and they got my attention and I can watch it. So the next episode going to be named Solo. We know the Solo, it's a name of the guy who is living in that silo where Juliet went. I have the note with the names. And I really like that episode started with Bernard, who's looking at the screen, right? We have almost like split everything what was happening in a parallel, so we can see exactly what was going on inside of the silo 18 while Juliet was jumping, climbing, trying to get wherever she was trying to get. And I like that fear on the face of Bernard. It's a reflection in his glasses. He see all those bones. I think that's terrified him. He understand that's something what can happen in this silo. And being alone, being by himself at this situation, it's really, really scary. I think it's really good he's wearing the dark pants, so he doesn't see how exactly scared he is. And we see in that room, he has a book called Order. That's the name of this episode. And the first episode was about Juliet, second episode all about Silo 18, and next episode based on the screenshots from the next like promotional materials We know the silo 18 going to be there. And name of the next episode, Solo. That's the name of the guy who is sitting in that silo where Juliet went. So probably starting from next episode, we're going to have story what's happening with Juliet and what's happening in the silo 18. And it's huge book. And probably it has everything. It's kind of like manual how to run this place. And in events of failed cleaning, prepare for a war. And he knew exactly where need to go. And it's already gave preparation. But did he thought it's going to happen in his timeline? Probably not. But most interesting part of the scene, we seen how Bernard living that most sacred room in the whole silo, and that's exactly same like that door that we saw in the first episode when Juliet came and the guy was speaking at her, the guy named Solo. And it also has the lock that turned red, and he punched the numbers. And when he was running, we see those huge fans that cooling off. It's a server room, you know, that bunch of computers there, and it's trying to cool it off. And in the silo where Juliet went, we saw two bodies right next to those fans. So exactly same floor plan for every single silo. The question is, who is that guy Solo? We're probably going to find out in the next episode. But why he got access to that special room? Was he is one of those people how Bernard is here? Or was he shadow of their kind of equivalents for the Bernard? Because first of all, he needed to know about that room. And second of all, he needed to know the access to that room. So we'll see. Big surprise of this episode for me was Judge Meadows, because when I was watching first season, she was almost felt not like a character, but like a prop. They just move. She said the words, but again, that was her goal, to play that person with the completely dry and dead inside. And now she's making decisions, stop drinking and doing something, because there is something in this world that finally gave her a sense or reason to live, hope for something more. She wants exactly what Juliet had. And I love that change. I mean, like, if they would brought completely new character, I'm like, oh, okay, they've written the arc for the new character. But to see someone so insignificant, but now getting into almost the main characters, that really surprising for me, and pleasantly surprising. We saw a lot of dialogues. I'm not going to concentrate too much between Bernard and Sims. We just know the Sims trying to get this spot to be a shadow of the Bernard, and Bernard just trying to get rid of the Sims. Like, you're good in the spot, what you doing, I want you there because I can trust you, and just don't touch me, just let me do my stuff. We see that uprising on a lower level, and I'm curious how many cafeterias they have, like, in total, because we saw at least 3 at this point, like one at the top level where the guy was sitting scribbling the stars right next to the door to the sheriff's office, and we saw cafeteria over here on the lower level, and also we going to see another one in the middle section where is the Juliet's father sitting, Dr. Pete Nichols. By the way, if you didn't know, maybe you are new on our channel, I'm making my videos just with the one take, no scripted, just sitting, having that conversation from heart to heart. And if you appreciate this kind of content, please write something down or at least give me thumbs up. It's going to give me a little motivation, because in the comparison, my main channel that I'm doing in Russian language has way more view, feedbacks, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm wasting time over here. Maybe I'm just talking to the void. So if this is something interesting for you, if you come in here just for this conversation, not just my audience who came from another channel and just like to listen me rumbling in the English. So if that's something interesting for you, please write something down in the comments. I will know that, okay, someone is listening. I'm not just wasting time and talking to myself. So we see how much like deputies, they have no control. They cannot control the people on the bottom. They once they demand the answers. Juliet was one of them. The good things, the main engineer can kind of be able to talk to them and try to calm them down, because he understands this is like Tinder box that can explode in any moment. I really like the Walker, how she show up with the water hose and cool down everyone, like literally. And she's like, people has to do the work, because she understands nothing can be done right now that can help Juliet. It's just going to bring more troubles. Same thing as the main engineer guy. Why he gave her up, why he told where exactly she is, because he knew those guys from the law, they can turn everything upside down. They can ruin so many lives. And it's cool kind of to see how different approach to the pain and suffering they have. Walker, we have like Shirley, who is just like she's like, I want answers, I'm demand answers. She's so aggressive, she's trying to fight for it. Martha, right? Martha, she's like completely opposite. She's trying like, no, we need to de-escalate the situation. We need to stop talking about this, because that's going to be even more problem. And we see the father of Juliet. He's just completely like that inside. He maybe is not crying, but just staring over there where his daughter went. And when he's holding this baby who dislocated the shoulder, of course he can help her, but he's just saying like, poor girl, poor girl. And by saying this, he's, yeah, we kind of understand he's saying this to the baby, but in the same time that his pain and suffering still about Juliet. So he's just kind of like rereading in these lines, like, my poor girl, where is she? He's so desperate right now. I like this scene also. It's kind of like power battle, even when you looked at the composition of the scene, how seems he's just towering over the sheriff. And he like, you want my statement? Okay, I'm going to give you the statement just for the checkbox. And even sheriff understand this is just like bunch of BS. She couldn't just say, I want to walk out and suddenly run away. He understand they lying. He understand they covering something up. Maybe he is pretending to be a guy for a Sims, but he is mad they thrown away the whole law book, that right now the law office decide to control the sheriff's office, and he understands something is going on, something is wrong, but he cannot do anything about that. We see that they needed to arrest Martha, and I thought like, poor lady, how she, if they demanding for answers over there on the top floors, how long it's going to take for her to crawl? They doesn't have elevators. How she's gonna go to get there? Walk? Poor lady have some mercy. Continuing with the Judge Meadows, I really like everything, how she understands that something changed. She needs to stop drinking. She, like, Bernard, what are you doing? She knows the truth. It's like mine, or like maybe it's technical guys who, if we have engineers, right, they maintaining the engine to be work, the system work, but those guys, maybe they build what needs to be built. And I'm not sure how about you, but I almost had the feeling they are two brothers, because this guy at some point he said, you are son of your father. So that means, like, or he knew his father, or maybe they have a same father. So that was like really interesting to me to see what is going on. And talking about this guy, we see there is so many like schematics on the board. And we know this actor from Sex Education. I'm not sure if you saw that show. I know it's not that many people who can act, and who is like in a wheelchair, and I think it's great they given this opportunity. I'm just not sure if this character existed in the books, or they just specifically brought him for this TV show just for the sake of representation. But I'm feeling kind of sad for him for being character in this kind of post-apocalyptic world where you do not have elevators and everything in the stairs. He destined to stuck on this bottom floor, but he made the work. He is just in charge of this like the place where they make in different tinker shop. That's the right word. And he told him, do not make anyone weapon, and I have a second request for you. And he like, what's the second request? And they cut off on this. As the screenwriter and writer myself, I do not like when in a TV show they using that kind of cliche. I think it's like, I'm going to tell you something on a year and no one going to know about it. But since we saw the trailer, I can kind of make a prediction, again, educated guess, how we saw in the trailer there going to be special cannon strong enough to shoot all the way up to all the 144 floors and spread around those little notes that St. Juliet leaves. So I think maybe that's what he's asking him to do, because who else will make that if not this guy? So we'll see if my educated guess will be right or not. I really like the whole conversation between Bernard and Judge Meadows. I'm really curious. We're finding out that she was his shadow and she stepped away from this job. And he was really skeptical when she said, like, I'm done drinking. Today was my first day. I know way too many alcoholics who said, like, okay, I stopped, quit drinking. Today is my first day. Sometimes, well, take one day at a time, but in my experience, I heard this way too many times, and it wouldn't last more than a week. Normally, that's what I would know, but I like how Bernard is smirking about it. But he needs her help. I guess she is so damn good that he is willing to come and beg for her help. Even like at moment of the speech, I understand he needs representation, he needs help, he asked her to stay behind him. I understand that, and it's like, okay, cool. But later, why he's still coming to her? Is she having that much understanding. Is she's that deep character who can predict how to work with the people. So I'm looking forward to see more of the Judge Meadows and development of her arc. And he like, you didn't tell me something. She has some kind of secret. Something made her step down from this job. Something made her change her mind and do not help him anymore. And he asking like, what kind of what can I give you? More relics, more spacing? What do you need? And I like how she's grabbing the Wizard of Oz book. I think the timing is perfect, especially right now in the movie theaters they shown The Wicked. And she was like, okay, movie theaters, Wicked, and let's just talk about the Wizard of the Oz and about how he is sitting on a balloon and flying away. She said like, that's what I want. Give me this. I want to escape from this place. And if you cannot give this to me, just get out. But I thought it's really cool. By the way, it's just interesting fun fact. I grew up, I was a child during the USSR still. And we had the book called Wizard of Emerald City. And the main girl, her name was Ellie, and her dog name was Tatoshka. And we all thought that that's the original story. We didn't know it was a rip-off of American story, which is so funny when later I find out about the Wizard of Oz and her name was Dorothy. What? And I was just like, it was interesting. So yeah, she asked him to help to escape. That's the only thing what helping her move forward. We also see different things happening. The Martha get in the prison, and those trying to building up uprising. I was happy that they was able kind of reunite and be together again. And she's willing to take all blame on herself. She's willing to say that she changed that isolation tape. She did everything to save Martha, but Martha is like, no, I'm not gonna. If we going to go to mines or jail, whatever, we're gonna do this together. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I know maybe this is part of the book. Maybe the writer used that twist that Mayor Bernard, instead of denying, he said like, yes, it was our invention, we made it, and this tape is just thanks to our IT department. So he bent the story. He dealt with the hand that he got. He played with the hand he got dealt, I guess. I don't know. So he was going along with this. They got some people who screamed in the audience, and he was able to deliver this message. And it was so cool that how people actually bought it up. And he's like, yeah, maybe I didn't like her, but she's my hero. She did it. She willingly went to check if this tape worked. I know she's dead, but more likely that helped her to go far away from our camera, and people, and this is going to help us to be able one day all get out of here. Which is like, if it's still dangerous out there, even if you're going to build those nice suits with a good isolation, what you gonna do with it? Like, where are you gonna go? It's not like there is a McDonald's waiting for you or store where you can go shop for the Black Friday. It's like there is nothing in there. You cannot even take the suits off. Why you need to go there? But again, for people who's always stuck in here, gave them some kind of hope, sell them this, it's good. And I like how Judge Meadows decided, like, okay, I'm going to ride along with this story, and she supported him and more than that. We even going to give you some stimulus money. If you didn't love your government before, love us now. And only Shirley wasn't buying up, and she's storing this pot and almost got arrested because of that, but they was able to save her butt from the prison. Finding out that it was Sims who paid for the people scream from the audience. Hecklers? But still, that was not enough to Bernard make him his shadow. Those was surprised they got released, but they just didn't want them to tell their story before Bernard was able to tell his story. And now it will be really hard to convince otherwise. This symbol, Juliet leaves, I like how it became the symbol of resistance. When I was making the breakdown on a trailer, I noticed those letters has been shown on the wall, and I was kind of predicting what that's going to mean, and I was really happy that my prediction was correct. And I love the Bernard face when he see that. He understand they bought maybe day or two, but boiling of the people interest not going to stop there. I still think that Sims and his wife, they more than they seems like it. I think they are parts of those keepers of the light, but they really secretive keepers of the light. And that's the whole goal of him, to be able to get to the source of information. He's willing to do everything. He's even willing to sacrifice others so he can get to the truth, because I kind of feel he's more than 2D character. I think he has some kind of depth, and that's what the clues showrunners trying to leave for us. And I really hope I'm right about this, especially about him and his wife, because his wife let Juliet leave. But he's like really trying, and he's smart guy. He's on the right track. He's like, okay, maybe that's the Judge Meadows. What do you remember? Did they work together? How they work together? And he starts understanding that she might be his shadow. And again, I really want to find out what's the superpower of Judge Meadows that Bernard needed her help so much. But she tell him one thing, that you need to do one for me. I want freedom. Just, I won't walk outside. That's those forbidden words you do not say. If you say them, that means you walk. And we understand, like, she do not care. She do not care. She does wants to get out, and that's her goal. Even she's gonna die, she said, I want the same chance that Juliet has. Find that tape for me, give me this tape. I'm going to help you secure this situation, but I want exactly the same what Juliet has. And I thought it was really nice ending of the show. They was jumping a lot between this story and Judge Meadows, so I kind of combined them together so we wouldn't jump. And we see how this uprising building up. Interesting moment. It's almost like crossover between this world and Dune, when they were saying like, oh, we're gonna talk to each other with the sign language so they wouldn't understand what exactly we're saying. It's almost like in the Dune, the sisters communicating with each other. I thought that was kind of like cool. The boy, I did believe him. He like, I'm going to say you all went sleeping, no one was breaking curfew, because he was together with Juliet inside of generator when it was so crazy. I thought they might die, but they was together, and he know her, even she punched him in the face, he kind of understand why, and he is willing to sacrifice for her. But I thought it's kind of funny how sloppy spies they are, or rebels they are. Like, everyone can find them, even Martha was able to find them. I was like, I was able to track him down. But it's like, is Juliet lives? Okay, if you want to prove that, okay, she's alive. And that's their slogan. Even if you're talking about the Hunger Games, right? The resistance, it's always need icon. It's always need symbol. Like, what was it? Mockingbird was Mockingjay for was a symbol of that resistance in the Hunger Games. Over here, Juliet lives. And that's the episode. I'm glad that you came and spent this time with me. Leave in the comments what you think about this episode. What do you think about characters? Maybe I left something out, something really important. Maybe you want to share about that. Go ahead. I'm going to look forward to the comments, and if we going to be having enough people to watching this and talking about this, we can do this every week, because this is only episode 2 out of 10. We can have 8 weeks ahead of us. So thank you so much again, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.